we've got $1,200 worth of Charlotte Tilbury here, and I'm going to tell you which ones of these are worth it. Starting with Charlotte's Magic Cream. This is probably her most famous skincare product, and it opens up like this. I've used up quite a few sample sizes, and this is actually a loyalty reward that I got for free, essentially, but it is worth $30. I will say that basically if you buy anything from Charlotte Tilbury, you usually get to choose a couple samples, and so try out this sample of these magic creams. I personally think they are worth it, especially if you want that deep hydration in the winter time. And I don't have super dry skin. I actually have combination to maybe slightly oily skin, so I can't use this all year round, only when it's really, really dry in the winter. But it does feel really nourishing, and it also just looks really beautiful on the vanity. Let's be honest, the reason I got into Charlotte Tilbury in the first place is definitely the packaging. This, I would say, is worth it, although be careful when you purchase the full-size version. There is a 30 milliliter version and a 50 milliliter version, but the 30 milliliter is the most expensive when you calculate price per milliliter, but the 15 and the 50 milliliter versions, so the smaller one and the bigger ones, are the same price when it comes to dollar per milliliter. That being said, I would just recommend buying these 15 milliliter ones because it'll make your moisturizer stay fresh for longer because you're only buying small quantities at a time. And also, I love the packaging. It's also like a glassy packaging. It is travel friendly, but even once you use it up, you can refill it with other skincare products. I've never bought a full-size version of Charlotte's Magic Serum Crystal Elixir. By the way, Charlotte Tilbury products have the longest product description. But I've used up, I would say, 2-3 samples of the serum. And this is this a new one? Maybe I've used it a couple of times. This has a very liquidy gel-like consistency. It feels really, really luxurious on the skin. It absorbs really easily. However, I couldn't really tell that it made a huge difference. Like if I use this and then use the magic cream, these two just feel too heavy on my skin. So I usually opt in for just the magic cream if I want that deep moisture. Definitely on the pricey side, and this is where I recommend trying out the little samples to see if it even makes a difference. To me, I don't think this is worth it. Next up is the Wonder Glow Primer. This retails for $55, and you do get quite a lot of product, 40 milliliter of product. This is essentially a glowy primer, like the name suggests. And as you can see, it gives like pretty much only glow, no coverage, because obviously it is a primer. And as I blend it in, you can see a little bit of glowiness. I think it's more obvious in person than on camera. For me, for $55, I just feel like I don't really need this product, especially if you also, which you should, wear sunscreen under your foundation or your base makeup. Then for the most part, the sunscreen gives me enough glow that I don't want to pile more glow on top of my sunscreen. So I feel like this is more of a regret for $55. Although I do really love the packaging of it. It just looks really sleek. And I feel like if my skin just feels really dull that day, I could just wear this to brighten up the skin. I tend to use this on no makeup days just to give my skin a little bit more life, but I don't think it's really a necessary product. Next up is the ever so famous Flawless Filter. Now this one is actually in a travel size. I believe this is a new version because I feel like in the past you could only buy the full size, but the travel size, the pricing is obviously more friendly, $19 for 5.5 milliliter. This is essentially a hard to describe product because you can use it as a primer, as a highlighter, or even as your base product. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit here. It does give a light coverage, gives a little bit more highlight than the Wonder Glow. Again, it's just impossible to see on camera. And it has very light coverage, I would say. So this is a product where if your skin condition is already pretty good and you just want to glow. And I don't know why I know why I bought this, because I've always been very curious about this product and I did not want to commit to the full size. So when they came out with the travel size, I was like, this is my opportunity to try it out. And if I'm honest, I probably won't purchase the full size. I feel like I could possibly repurchase the travel size because this is not a product, again, I need to use every day. But if I'm comparing the Wonder Glow and the Flawless Filter, I will go for the Flawless Filter over the Wonder Glow because it does give you a little bit more coverage. The one base product that I think is worth it is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This has been a hero product of Charlotte Tilbury for almost since the inception. I feel like I've heard about this quite a few years ago. I have it in the shade for neutral and I've actually used up, I think, half, maybe a little over half a bottle. I am going to declutter this because I've had this for a few years, and then also this shade is no longer a shade match for me. It is just ever so slightly too dark and yellowy. I do think my shade is a 3 neutral. So as you can see, it's not the perfect match, but it definitely gives a medium to full coverage. I used to wear this a lot, especially in the summertime when I want to have more of a matte finish on my foundation. Works like a charm, and obviously the packaging is just beautiful. This is also, I think, one of, if not the cheapest foundation type of product at Charlotte Tilbury. This is $49. You get 1 fluid ounce of the product, which is more than enough for me given I don't wear foundation every day. So I do think if I am ever on the market for foundation again, I would go back and purchase the right shade. And this is a product that is worth it. Moving on to face palette. I have this Instant Look in a palette in the Stoned Rose Beauty shade. This, I feel like, has been discontinued for a little while now, although I still found the link. So I don't know, maybe it'll come back. Usually things like this comes back during holiday season, but I didn't see it come back this past holiday. However, if this ever comes back, I highly recommend products like this. I feel like for $75, which is how much this palette costs, you really get the essentially best out of Charlotte Tilbury, and it's also super travel friendly. I've hit pan on the shimmery shade. This you can use to set the base of your eye look, and then there's also a medium shade. Everything is very buildable, which makes it really great for everyday wear, but also you can, as you can see, use a darker shade to build up for a slight smoky look. And then this is the contour, the highlight, as well as the blush. So I will forever have this link saved. If it ever comes back, I do think I will repurchase, whether it's the same shade or a different shade. I just really like the format of this product. This really gives you the entire look in one palette, and I will always travel with this. I know it has probably expired for a couple of years, but I mean, these are all powdery products, so I haven't had any issue using them, so I'm going to keep using this up. It also comes with a really big mirror, which is perfect for your travel on the go makeup setup. This is, first of all, huge compared to the look in a palette, oh my god, it actually is the same size as the entire look in the palette, but this is the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer in the shade 1 Fair. There is a lot of product here. This is, I believe, a creamed powder bronzer, and it also comes with a huge mirror, but I do feel like this pulls off a little bit warmer than I ideally want it to be. I mean, it's a great bronzer, but I also like to use my bronzer to contour. So this looks really nice. I feel like when the weather is really warm and you just want a sun-kissed look, like the name suggests. But I feel like I would never be able to use up this entire pan, and it costs $58, which, considering how much product you get, which is 0.74 ounce, 21 gram, that is, I think, quite a lot of product. I mean, I will probably never use up this bronzer, so I feel like it's okay for the price, but I would rather it come in a much smaller, ideally travel size version. And I feel like there are so many great cream bronzers out there that you don't have to go for the Charlotte Tilbury one. These are the very famous Cheek to Chic Swish and Glow blusher. This one is in the shade Pillow Talk. This is the very famous nipple blush that basically has the blush shade on the outer ring and then the highlighting shade in the inner ring. So it's a very easy to blend texture and very natural, pinky, slightly corally look. I really like the shade of this. And the highlighter shade is a light pinky champagne shade. When I use this product, I just swish my brush all over so I get the pigment but also a little bit of the glow from the highlighting shade in the middle. I did chip it, so it's missing like a little bit of the product here. And this has also lasted me a very long time. I don't think I will ever be able to use it up. In fact, I don't even know if I'm close to hip hand. I have used it quite a bit, and of course it comes with the mirror as well, which is really handy. I will say the packaging is very secure for travel purpose. It's really thin as well, so fits in your makeup bag very easily, but it's not the easiest to open, like especially if you have long nails. I feel like this makes it a little bit hard to open, although it is very travel friendly. It's $42, and I just feel like the formula isn't that wow enough for me to justify spending $42 again to buy this. So I will happily use this up, but I don't really think it's worth the price. This is the Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect highlighter in the shade Champagne Glow. I mean, really do really have to have such a long name. But it is a beautiful highlight. And I also love the star indentation here. But as you can see, this whole pan like moves around. I'm not sure if it's just my pan, but also look at the glow. Wow. This is a highlight you will definitely be able to see. And it has like a champagne-y glow to it, which is great for the cheeks, for the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow. I do really like the effect of this. It's in the exact size as the blush, but just in slightly different and more beautiful packaging. It is $48, and I feel like I don't really find too much of a difference between this and my, I think, $6 ColourPop highlight. So you're really buying the packaging and the brand. I mean, yes, it is really beautiful glow, but I also am not too picky about highlight that I feel like I will not repurchase this. So I don't think it's really worth the price, especially if you can get blush and highlight in one product for $42. This is the Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in the shade Peachgasm. So it's, I feel like everyone on the internet has heard or seen about this product now. It basically is a click to open type of product. Charlotte Tilbury might be one of the first, if not the first beauty brand to launch such packaging. So you do have to click it open. But as you can see, I've got quite a bit of excess product. So I don't even have to click it open every time to get the product out. It is in a beautiful peachy corally blush shade. It blends out really beautifully and it has the perfect sheen to it. So when I'm wearing this blush, I don't need to wear highlighter on my cheeks, and I just like the convenience of this product. It comes in a bunch of other shades, and there's also the contour and the highlight beauty like wands. So it's a pretty comprehensive product line, and I don't think you get too much product in this tube. Yeah, it's only 12 milliliter or 0.4 fluid ounce, but I feel like a little bit goes a long way, and I like how travel friendly it is because of the closure mechanism. I know that if you're not careful, the product could, spill out and make it really nasty. So just be very careful the first time you use it so that your product doesn't get anywhere. But I do think for $42, you kind of get two products in one, and there are a lot of dupes out there, but I haven't tried them, and I will happily just use my very beautiful Charlotte Tilbury one. So I do think this is worth the money. I only have one brow product, which is the Brow Fix Clear Brow Gel. I don't think for $26 this is worth it because you can get clear brow gel pretty much from any brand, and I think e.l.f. does a really affordable one. They tend to dry out quite easily or be used up pretty quickly. So unless you're getting this as a kit, which I did as a brow and mascara kit, I believe, I don't think you need to spend $26 for just the beautiful packaging. When I bought this kit, it came with the push-up lashes in the travel size, but it was dry and I only got like barely one use out of it, which is really disappointing. But I've used up quite a few sample sizes and they were fine. So for the travel size of the Push-Up Lashes mascara, I believe it's $15. But I think there are just so many great mascaras in the drugstore that you really don't have to splurge on a Charlotte Tilbury one, even if it is travel size. I recently received the sample size of the Exaggerize Volume Mascara. I actually haven't tried it yet, so next time when I travel, I will give it a try. But my thing about mascara is there are just so many great ones out there that's much more affordable, and mascara, you do need to use it within usually 3 months of opening, otherwise they dry out fast. So I just don't feel like there's any need to splurge on mascara, so pass on both. I have 4 of the luxury palette quads. Let's talk about these 3 regular ones. I have it in Pillow Talk Dreams, which is, I think, a slightly more corally and deeper shade than the original Pillow Talk. All of the quads come in a little mirror, which is really handy. These are $55 each, and I feel like they are not worth it unless you just want a one and done kind of palette. This one is, I think, Walk of No Shame. Yeah, I used actually quite a bit of this one. I do like the pinky, almost slight berry tone of these shades, but I only use them a lot because I feel like they're expensive and I don't want to waste money. This is in the Bella Sophia. This is more of an olivey brown type of shades. This is great for the winter time or fall, but I do think the palette that is quite worth it is the luxury palette of Pops. So these are, I think, $58, and they don't come out like all year round. I think usually in the holiday timing is when they come out. They're all shimmery shades, and I just really think they're not only perfect for the holiday timing, but they're also great for every day. Oh my god, look at this. Even slight like dual chrome. Oh, so beautiful. I have worn this palette quite a lot, and I do really like the effect it has on my eyes. I feel like all these shades make my eyes pop. There is fallout, I think, especially with the darker shade, but otherwise it is a very pretty, like, glittery shade. I really like this first shade that has a little bit of a duochrome. As you can see, it just shines really beautifully under the light. And there is quite a lot of product in here. I feel like I've been using this for a few years now and I haven't even hit pan yet. So there's still a lot of life in this palette, and I do think it is worth it to just have one very special palette that is not super dupable on the market. And can we talk about this beautiful holiday packaging too? So if you're also a packaging junkie, I feel like this is worth to collect in your collection. The eye blender brush, I don't think you need to spend $36 for an eye brush. I mean, it is really soft and really easy to use when it comes to blending out eyeshadow, and it feels really nice on the skin. But I also am totally fine using my like ColourPop $5 brushes. So I don't regret having it because I feel like I can now have this fancy brush forever, and it just is very easy to hold. It makes me feel really fancy whenever I'm using this, but I don't really think it's necessarily worth the investment. Lastly, all the Charlotte Tilbury lip products. I have 15 that spans across pretty much all of the lip product lines, starting with the Skinny Lip Superstar Lips. This is the most confusing name, and it is in the shade Pillow Talk. I haven't seen really anyone talk about this line. I guess these are just not as popular as some of the other lines, but it is pretty much a tinted lip balm. As you can see, it's like glossy and balmy. I would say more balmy than glossy. So I do wear it in the winter time. It is more of a berry purplish tone, but just know that the shade Pillow Talk looks so different across different lip lines, and I'll show you in a bit. But this one is probably my least favorite Pillow Talk product. So for $35, and also by the way, most of these lip products are $35 or $38. So I'm not going to repeat the price, but you'll see everything on the screen. So for $35, I don't really think this is worth it. You can probably find better ones at the drugstores. Moving on to the hyaluronic lips, and this is in, again, Pillow Talk as well. This is the Charlotte Tilbury version of the very famous Tarte lippies. Essentially, it's not retractable, so once you kind of twist it up, you can't retract it, but it is definitely glossier and I feel like equally moisturizing as the previous one. Again, both in the same Pillow Talk shade. The first one definitely pulls more purple, and this pulls a little bit more mauvey, and I definitely prefer this Pillow Talk shade. But as you can see, it gets quite messy because it's not retractable, and I feel like for $35, you can probably buy two of the Tarte ones when they're on sale. So even though the packaging is indeed beautiful, I don't think it's worth it. However, what I do think is worth it is the next one, which is the Collagen Lip Bath. So this is another one of those like glossy, but also good for your lip type of product because it does have collagen in it, and it's not tingly, but it does smell a little bit minty and has a little bit of a cooling effect. And this is in the shade, I believe also, yes, also Pillow Talk. Another example of, see how this one pulls more coral versus the other two Pillow Talks. I just don't understand, like, why wouldn't she make all the Pillow Talks at least in the same color tone, but like this one, the first one is clearly more cool tone, and then this one is clearly more warm tone. Regardless, I do really love this product. I use it quite a lot, and I like the heart applicator as well. I think it's worth it because with this, I really don't need any other lip gloss. This is the Airbrush in the shade Honey Blur, so it's like the Charlotte Tilbury version of a liquid lipstick, and it is a very fall winter friendly shade. Given this is a liquid lipstick, it's not that drying, but I just personally still prefer the Giorgio Armani Lip Maestro, which I have a dedicated video swatching all of my shades. So even though this is nice, I don't think I need to buy more. There are other better Charlotte Tilbury lip products out there. Moving on to the Matte Revolution line, I have 5 shades from this line. They are really good. It, as the name suggests, is a mattifying product. This one is in the shade Catwalking. Quite a few of these shades are nudie, and this one is a slight, I guess, mauvey nude. This paired with the collagen lip bath is a great combo. Perfect for every day, and it's not too in your face. Even though this is technically a matte lipstick, it is not drying at all. So I really love the formulation of these. I also have the shade Super Fabulous, which is just a slightly darker shade of nude. 1975 Red. This has been discontinued, but this is actually a great, just vibrant holiday red. My favorite from this line is Sexy Sienna, which is a beautiful pinky coral shade. It's my favorite shade to wear in the summertime. It just like brightens up your whole look, and it's really smooth to put on, and again, not drying at all. So for the shade Sexy Sienna, I feel like this is the one that's most worth it because I haven't been able to find a similar shade in the drugstore. This is Icon Baby, which I have it in the travel size, more of a grayish pink, and I got it in a set with the lip luster, which I think is just a regular lip gloss that it's very hard to swatch, but it's a little bit sticky, and I feel like it's just not as good as, for example, the collagen lip bath, which is probably why literally nobody has ever talked about this product. I mean, it is beautiful in packaging, and it's a good price in a set. I believe these two cost $30 together, and especially with lipsticks, I don't know about you, but I've never used up a full-size bullet lipstick, so I really wish all the lipsticks come in the travel size. And this is another tip. If you are wanting to try more Charlotte Tilbury lip products, just wait until usually the holiday timing, and sometimes throughout the year, they have sets of these travel size lipsticks. Even though technically for price per ounce, it's more expensive. Considering, I mean, at least I never use up a full size, I still think buying the travel size is more worth it. Also, by the way, the Icon Baby is in a beautiful pink packaging because it's like their line of pink lipsticks. In the Kissing line, which is a satiny lipstick line, I have, this is probably my all-time favorite shade, which is Bitch Perfect. It is a coral nudie shade that is just perfect for all year round. And for this particular shade, totally worth it. And this line is also really comfortable to wear. It has a slight sheen, and it is a satiny finish, but really, really easy to apply. I love, love, love this shade. In a beautiful packaging, Nude Romance. By the way, anything that comes in like a slight different packaging, that's ever so slightly bigger than the regular bullet packaging is $38. But honestly, for $3 more, I feel like this is worth it too. It's so beautiful. And even the bullet itself has like the heart imprint on it, which is so beautiful. This is another nudie shade. Really? Does anyone need this many nude shades? No, but I love the packaging. And I feel like it is a bit more corally than the other two nudes that I have here. So I'm justifying it in the collection because of the beautiful packaging, but you don't need to own this many new lipsticks, of course. Next is another Pillow Talk. This is the, oh wait, this is the Matte Revolution in a sample size. So I recently got it as a gift. And to compare all the Pillow Talks given, we have the other ones here. So I'll just swatch it here for you. This original Pillow Talk is definitely more on the pinky side with a slight warm undertone to it. It is pretty flattering. I just really love how cute this sample size is. For comparison's sake, this is the sample size, the travel size, and then the full size. Last two are in the Hot Lips 2 line, where Charlotte Tilbury partners with a bunch of celebrities to create their signature shades. This Glowing Gen is for Jennifer Aniston, and this is another beautiful mauvey shade. To be honest, I'm no longer able to tell the difference of some of these shades. I feel like this is actually quite similar to the Pillow Talk. You really don't need all of these shades, but I just love this packaging and it makes me feel great. So technically not worth it, but if you are obsessed with Charlotte Tilbury packaging, you'll understand. The last one, In Love with Olivia. This is for Olivia Palermo. And this, I like this shade a lot. It's, again, just very similar to whatever this shade is. Pillow Talk. Yeah, actually. Wow. These two shades are really similar. So, yeah, you really don't need both, but I am obsessed with Charlotte Tilbury packaging, as you'll be able to tell by now. These are the 10 things that, in my opinion, are the most worth it from Charlotte Tilbury. The Magic Cream, the Instant Look in a Palette, if it ever comes back in stock, the Airbrush Flawless Foundation, Glowgasm, Blush, Highlight Combo, Luxury Palette of Pops, specifically the shimmery ones, Collagen Lip, Matte Revolution in Sexy Sienna, Kissing in Bitch Perfect, Kissing in Nude Romance, mainly for the packaging. And then lastly, just any sort of smaller sized lip sets like this Icon Baby Set. One last thing, I did not review the Charlotte Tilbury perfume, but I did have all of the sample size of all, I think 5 or 6 scents. Do not recommend. They all smell really sickly sweet and powdery, and I just don't think perfume is Charlotte Tilbury's strong suit, and there are so many other better perfume products out there that you don't need to waste your money. If you're ever curious, you can always request a sample when you check out on Charlotte Tilbury's website. Let me know in the comments which ones are your favorite Charlotte Tilbury products.